So, hello everybody. Good morning. And in this session of ABAP rituals, we are going to learn about the other 10 slides in detail, and from there we will derive the inter important interview questions and their answers. Right. So yesterday we have seen all these things. Let's have a quick recap from 120, 121st slides. So here in at PFN, this N stands for between 0 to 25. That means from 1 to 24. Different control break statement yesterday we have seen at first, at last, at new, at on, change of hand, at end of. Very important, VVI. And we have some tricky interview question related with at new. We try to understand the concept of at new in detail, and we understood that how at new is going to work. So we saw some examples here. Here also we saw some examples for at new. Then we saw the difference between at new and on change of. This is again a very important question. So this is, we marked as an important question, and here we started looking into ABAP list viewer, normal list, grid list, and their differences we understood in detail. We saw how to color a particular cell in a ALV, and we saw how the precedence level with respect to color in ALV work. So highest precedence goes to cell color, then row color, and then column color. So column is having the lowest and highest is having cell color. So in this way, in ascending, what function modules are used to display the ALV block? Not important, you can leave it if you want. And these are the function module which we can use for ALV block display. Going ahead, today we are going to see what are the various tools are present to improve the code quality and improve the performance. Very important. This can be your important question, very important question. What are the various tools are present to improve the code quality and improve the performance? So here you can see the various SAP tools: EPC, Extended Program Check, ABAP Test Cockpit, and ST05, ST12, SC30, and SAT. Okay, so these are the various tools given by SAP in order to improve our code quality and the performance. What is ATC, and describe a little bit about it? So ATC stands for ABAP Test Cockpit, and the meaning of cockpit means, the cockpit means where everything you have at a single place to manage. So you might have seen that each aeroplane where pilot sits, he handles the plane through cockpit. So pilot where sits and where he drives the plane, there he will be given the cockpit, and In that cockpit, all the driving tools are present. So from the single place, he is able to manage his aeroplane, at how much height he has to fly, how he has to land on, how he has to take off, right? How he has to increase the speed. So all such kind of stuff he's going to manage from one place. Similarly, here ATC, if you go to this transaction, this is a transaction itself. If you go to the ATC, you will be having the various tool you can see from there, code inspector from there also you can access, right? You can perform this technical correction. You will be able to create the many variant over there, and you can create those variant in order to find out the code bug where you have to improve the performance. So you can, ATC is nothing but a transaction where you can get so many option, or you can say almost all the option from a single place where you can improve your code quality and tune the report performance. So technical correction you can do, performance you can improve, code will be optimized, and functional correction can also be done. By default, variant is default. The name of the default variant is default. Another variant, performance underscore DB, and the functional underscore DB. If you want to know in more detail, you can go through my course and you will be able to understand, all these things in more detail in the practical way. What are the best practices for performance improvement? Another question, very important question, very, very frequently asked question. You cannot ignore this question, very frequently asked question. So now you people tell me, what are the various practices, what are the various practices which you follow, at least one practice in your project in order to improve the performance. So right here in the chat box, what you follow. One performance improvement criteria, you have to write it over here, which you follow in your project. Anil, Jayant, Om Prakash, Rajesh, Ramesh, Ravi, Satya, Vishal, Yasaswini, Saloni. Yeah, good. Satya is writing nested loop, select under loop. So select under loop, we are not supposed to write at any cost. Very good, Satya. Rajesh is writing never use loop inside loop. Very good. Then what to use, Rajesh? Just write what should be the alternative over here. Okay. Om Prakash is writing proper select with where condition and into table. Right. Very good. So all the selection must be field wise. We should not write select a star. We should write select field 1, field 2, field 3 like that. And we are also supposed to write a where condition. We must have to specify the key, okay, so that we can get the specific record. And if it is possible, use the key which is primary key or the key on which secondary index has been already created, if it is possible. Okay. Yeah. So when we have to avoid the loop inside the loop, we go for the parallel cursor. Very good, Yashashwini. Binary search, yes, to improve the performance first. So what is the prerequisite for using the binary search? Right here in the chat box, what is the prerequisite for using the binary search? Okay, just right here, it will be a one word answer. Very good. So we must have to perform the sort. Okay, when the sort comes into the picture, one. So we should have short, not short, sort. Okay, short means small, and sort means in ascending order, in descending order, like that. That's the sorting we have to use. Now with this short, one question came into my mind. I just forgot. Hmm, okay, leave it. Tables should be short, that's fine. Don't join more than two tables in ACC. So we are supposed to ignore the join when we are not having the HANA database, all right? If you have the HANA database, you can go for more than two tables join as well. There is no issue as such. However, again, depends on, scenario to scenario, but nothing to worry more. If you have the HANA database, you can use the inner join up to 20 tables, okay? So sort is the prerequisite. Fine. So that question I got now in my mind. What I am telling, suppose if we're going to sort your internal table, if we're going to sort your internal table, simply we're writing sort internal table. It will sort in ascending or descending order. Just write your answer. If you means what should be the default sort sequence? Would it be ascending or descending? Very good, Satya. Ascending. Yes, it should be ascending. Now you tell me, is it possible to sort an internal table in descending order? This is the question. Yeah, very good, Aswini. Awesome. So yes, that is possible. Now you tell me, is it possible to use the binary search with descending sort sequence? Would you get the correct result with the descending sort sequence? Suppose if you are going to sort your internal table into the descending order, would you be able to get the correct result? Om Prakash is telling yes, Rajesh is telling yes. Any other? Just go ahead, keep on writing. Yes, we can. No. The answer is no. If we're going to use the descending of your internal table in the descending sequence, your binary search will not work properly, you know. So that's the trick over here. You have to remember it. Even you can go and check it. I have checked many times, or even you can go and check the SAP standard documentation that binary search only will work with the ascending sequence. Your table must be sorted in the ascending order. Even if you apply the binary search algorithm with the descending order, you will not be able to get the correct result. You can just try yourself and try to find, that is not possible. You will not get the correct result, right? Good. So this is one new knowledge for whom who does not know that with descending, your search is going to work properly. So we came to know over here, the binary search only works with the ascending order, not with descending order. Remember this one. Okay. Now the various improvement techniques we will see. We'll be having some more chat over here. Let me first go through the chat, and then I will go to the stuff which we have written on the uh, slides. So Ravi is writing parallel cursor, good. So instead of loop inside loop, we can use the parallel cursor, very good. No binary sort before sorting, yes, but we must have to use the sort before binary search, right? Yeah, Rajesh is telling that checking internal table before use of for all entries, that is very important, right? Otherwise you will get unwanted result as well as performance, overload, means you will not get the that's very bad actually, right? So we must have to check the initiality check before using the for all entry, right? Now Jayant is telling select query written in a way according to fetch data from DB table in some manner of primary and other fields. Right, that's fine, very good. Yes, sort both the table, loop, or read. Sort both the table, loop, or read. Yeah, so for the parallel cursor you must have to sort both the table, right? That's fine, good. Let's go and see the various performance, improvement technique, which is very frequently used. So let's start from the first. Inside the loop, you don't have to write the select query, right? So most of you have written this particular things. Important. Remember this, right? Because when you write the select query inside a loop, what will happen that every time it's going to communicate with the database and the network is going to be consumed, right? So the network connection, the application server has to establish the connection with the database layer. And when the application server has to establish the connection with the database layer, it has to, you know, take some time, right? When it has to take some time, every time when you are putting the loop, right, on the select query, every time for establishing the network connection, right, or initializing the transaction, initializing the select query, it's going to take the time. So, right, inside the loop, you don't have to write the select query. Okay. In select query, the sequence of the field should be same as it is there in the database, right? So when you are writing select field 1, field 2, field 3 from some particular table, so when you write the field 1, field 2, field 3, this field 1, field 2, field 3 should be in the same sequence as it is there in the database table. So what I'm telling that, suppose if you observe the Mara table, right? So it will be having the Matner first. This will be the Matner first, and then you might be having the MTAT and MATKL, and then other fields. So let's suppose in Mara table, the first field is Matner and then MTAT and MATKL. So when you write the select query, you are supposed to write like this, select, select Matner, MTAT, and then MATKL. See, so in the same sequence, if we're going to, now you tell me whether this is right or wrong. First I'm writing MATKL. Just assume that your sequence is in this Matner, MTAT, and MATKL, right? And you are writing the query like this: select MATKL, and then you are writing Matner from Mara. Is it correct? Just write here in the chat box yes or no. Yeah, this is not correct, right? This is not correct because the sequence is this Matner, MTAT, and MATKL. So suppose if you want to fetch MATKL Matner only, so first you write the Matner and then you write the MATKL. So for the database, it will be easy to manipulate and access the table, if it will be in the same sequence. So it will improve the performance. So though it's a, very a small point, but important point, right? Another, you must have to limit the selected records, right? So how to limit the selected records? So when you are going to use the select query, you have to make sure that you are not going to get all the records from the database. That means you must have to put select some fields from some table into some internal table, right? You don't have to write simply this, right? You have to write select some fields from some table into some internal table up to 10 rows, 20 rows, up to 100 rows, or up to 1000 rows, right? If you don't have the where condition, if you have the where condition, go and write the where condition. And in the where condition, write the maximum where condition, means as max as possible, as max as possible. So if you write the maximum field over there in the, if you are going to give the maximum filter criteria, your resultant, your the output records in the internal table is going to be less, and that is good actually. Okay. So in where condition, you have to apply the multiple, you know, multiple filter criteria. Okay. multiple filter criteria if I'm going to give, that's good, right? So if you have the chance to give the maximum filter criteria, don't avoid, give there itself, so you get the most relevant and filtered data. Use up to n rows, right? Use up to n rows. Or you know that packet size, right? We have a concept of packet size, so that packet size also you can use in order to limit the, suppose you don't have any way to limit the record, you want to get all the data from the database table into your internal table, right? And you know that internal table cannot hold the data more than 1.5 GB, right? So, and also some more than some 2 lakh records or something, like I don't remember exact figure, but some like more than 1 lakh, let's suppose. If it is not going to store in one go, right, then what you will do, first you will have to get something like 50,000, then another 50,000, then another 50,000. So this concept is known as the packet size. So you can go and explore in the uh, Google, okay, on the internet, or maybe I will prepare one video on this. I don't have this in my course or in my YouTube video anywhere. I need to create a video on this. So packet size very important, and very frequently, actually this packet size used very frequently whenever you have to get lot many data from a database table, right? And you want to get in chunk, right? 50,000 first, again 50,000, again 50,000, again 50,000. So we use in select and end select actually this packet size. So I'll prepare one, you know, it will take some 15 to 20 minutes, and I will give you over there. Meanwhile, you can just go and search on the Google and try to understand about this packet size through some blog or SAP technical, or check on the SAP ad or SAP code, something like that. So packet size is also one technique, right? Here, don't use select star, right? Don't use select star. Why to use select star, right? On Mara, currently we are having around 356 fields, right? So if we're going to use select star from Mara, what will happen, right? What will happen? It will unnecessary data collection. We never use the 356 fields from the Mara, right? Hardly 10 fields maximum, right? So generally 5, 6, 7, 8, or up to 10 fields. So the average, mostly sometimes 3 or 4 fields is sufficient, right? So whatever fields you require, fetch only those fields, right? So this is the fourth point, very important point. Fifth point, in where condition, try to use those fields which is indexed, right? That means you use the primary key or use the field on which you have created the secondary index, right? So go to the AC11 and display the table and click on the index head and check on whatever fields the secondary index has been created. So if you're going to use the primary key in where condition, nothing can be better than this, right? But if you don't have the option, like your business requirement is something like that, you have to do the filter based upon the non-primary key, then just check out which non-primary key has been indexed, whether that is making sense for you or not, you know. So if that is there in the secondary index, use that one, that combination, you know, in order to improve the performance. Or if it is required to create, if you are going to uh, have the selection on a particular table many times in your program, right? You are going to create a project, you are going to launch a project, and in that project, suppose you are going to, you know, use the select query on a table, let's suppose on Mara table, okay, on non-primary key. Okay, there are some non-primary key in the Mara table. Let's suppose mtart and matkl, right? So suppose mtart and matkl, you have to put the where condition. You go and check in the index whether on mtart and matkl secondary index has been created or not. If it If it is already created, that's fine, you don't have to do anything. But if it is not created, see how many times that select query has been used in your project, overall project, in your package. You can understand, right? By going to the technical design, or with or by discussing with your team member, or with your team lead who is having the better visibility on this, right? He will guide you whether you are supposed to create. If it is going to used so much many select query based upon the where condition on mtat and matkl, on which already secondary index have not been created, then you can create one secondary index. Never ever, simply create the secondary index. Creating secondary index on a table frequently is not suggested. I'm getting some ping over here. One question is that, can we create secondary index in HANA-DB? Yes, of course, you can create, but not recommended. SAP is not appreciating this approach, because if some table is there in the column store format, right, already that is indexed. Every column in the HANA table is indexed, right? So that's why it is not appreciated. It is not, uh, it is not recommended strongly. However, you can use if it is very much required, right? You can see the performance by putting the timer, and you can check like whether it's going to improve the performance or not. However, there generally it is not required. Non-HANA DB, Oracle, Sybase, DB2, DB6, Informix, Mass, these are the very popular non-HANA DB. Don't use inner join for more than 2 tables in non-HANA DB, right? Don't use the aggregate function mean, max, average, sum, count, right? Because these are on the non-HANA DB, right? This database consists of the row storage format, right? And you know that row storage format is not made for aggregation, right? However, column storage is fully made for aggregation. So this concept, if you want to understand this, I have discussed in my ABAP on HANA course in very much detail. There you can go and learn. It will be there on YouTube also, okay? This particular video related with first 2 or 3 video in that I have discussed. You can go and check. Okay. Here for all entries more than 2 tables, right? You must have to, means it is very much recommended, actually strongly recommended, that if you have to put the select query on more than 2 tables, right? Use the for all entries. And that's why for all entries is so popular, because this HANA database came around 2011, right? Somewhere around that. And after that, right, it got more popularity after 2015. So up to 2015, or even now also, this for all entries, right, fast data access and all, there it plays a very vital role, very important role. So you can never ignore this for all entries in HANA database scenario as well. Okay. So here what we understood, in non-HANA DB, don't use inner join for more than 2 tables. Don't use the aggregate function, right? It's a performance killer, means it will kill your performance, it will hamper your performance very badly. This mean, max, average, sum, count. Okay. So, but if it is your columnar database like HANA database, so column storage is made for aggregation, right? Column storage is synonym for aggregation. You can tell like this. Column storage is synonym for aggregation, because if something is stored in the columnar way, right, it's very easy to add them in a column in one go. That's the concept behind the column storage. And there are so many, concept is hidden behind the column storage, right? Go through that video. You will be able to understand in more detail. Now here, mean, max, average, sum, count, right? The HANA DB is used for mean, max, average, sum, count, because these are the uh, aggregate function, and HANA DB has been made for the aggregate function. Here FDA for all entries, right? We just discussed this fast data access. So this settings has to be done by the basis people, right? Loop inside loop. You have to avoid this and use parallel cursor, right? Loop inside loop. You have to avoid this and use parallel cursor. We have seen how to use the parallel cursor. We'll see in the next slides how to use this parallel cursor. Use the secondary index wherever it requires. Okay. In case of large amount of data, use binary search for read statement, right? So whenever you have the large amount of data and you are using the what? A standard table, a standard internal table, then you have to use the binary search for read statement. Okay. So for suppose if you have the standard internal table, but if you have the sorted internal table, so in case of sorted internal table, what you have? Automatically the binary search will be applied. You don't have to write the binary search addition in case of sorted internal table. Okay. Don't use sort inside the loop. Don't use sort inside the loop. So when we use the sort inside the loop, then what will happen? That every time system has to perform the sort, right? Every time system has to perform the sort. And what will happen? Sort is very performance, you know, uh, embarrassing. It's the sort takes so much time to sort takes so much time to uh, like in order to do the sorting, the sort statement. So that's why we are, and because you are using in a loop, it will take a lot of time. So remember this sort we are not supposed to use this. This will badly affect your performance. Very, very bad performance wise. Very, very bad performance wise. Very, very bad performance wise. Okay. Now you can use loop at group by instead of conventional control by. So now in the current, you know that we are having the this loop at control by, right? Loop at group by. This particular this particular this particular loop at group by. Okay, you can use loop at group by. So under the new syntax series of YouTube video, there you can go and understand in very detail, right? Loop at group by, very performance effective loop at group by instead of control break, right? Very, very powerful new syntax, loop at group by. And here now you have what is the parallel cursor and what steps need to be followed. So now just tell me the steps what you have to follow in order to implement the parallel cursor. Right here some steps. Or let me do one thing. Anyone of you would like to give the answer, just raise your hand. I will unmute you and you can tell it over here. Who would like to tell the concept of parallel cursor over here? Just raise your hand. You have to tell the steps. Jaini, Anil, Gautam, Jayant, Kaushik, Om Prakash, Rajesh, any one of you, just you can raise your hand. I will unmute you. Whoever would be willing to tell the steps of the parallel cursor. Yes, Ashwini, Vishal, just you can try at least, you can try the concept of parallel cursor. Ravi, Jayant is willing to tell. Okay, Jayant, I'm going to unmute. Yes, just go ahead and tell. Jayant, I have unmuted you.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah,
Mhm.
first thing we have to do, first thing that I have to tell you that good morning to you all. Sort both the tables that you have used a parallel cursor like header or item, which is
Okay.
mostly used in purchase or material master like that.
Okay, so you
according to
take
the
one example, like purchase header and purchase item, right? Or sales
Yeah,
header or
correct.
sales item. So any one item, just select. So maybe you can select for the purchase order header and purchase order item. Yeah. So you mean to say that first sort the purchase order header and purchase order item, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So sort header table and item table. Just a second, you give me. So I'm going to write it over here in the notepad, it will make the sense. You will be able to remember it longer. We'll be having, I've written all the steps in the slides as well, but still again, we will write. So the first step, what Jayant is telling that sort, header and item. Very good. Now go ahead.
Yeah, further that you have to loop at header table.
Loop at header table. Yes, good. Now,
Now go to the read state, put the read statement on the item table according to the fields which are used to validate the data like VBLN or something.
so read item with key
Yeah,
header
correct.
field, right?
Yes, put the binary search in that read statement.
Very good. Put the binary search in this read statement.
After that, according to that, what the index or what the field you have found, you have
Okay.
to put it as index type value, like second number row or third number row.
Okay. So in third step, you were telling that get, let's suppose LV underscore index equals to site tab X, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Then,
Then you have to found this index number, and after that index, according to that, you have to read the item table with that index number.
mm, again, you have to first put the loop, right?
Yes.
After this second loop, once you got this loop at internal table, so this is actually should be third, and this should be the fourth. And once you got the index, then what you have to do again, loop at item table, right?
Yeah, correct.
From LV underscore index, right?
Yes.
This from LV underscore index. Yeah. Now tell me the sixth step. This is the fifth. And now you have to tell me the sixth step. Yeah. Here.
Here you have to found your value inside this loop according to that
Mm-hmm.
index.
Mm-hmm.
So you can done your operation according to the header table, like you modify, you want header table, or you want to put in another internal table, you can do here.
Okay. So see here. Once you are having the loop here, anyone else would like to tell the steps, the sixth step? Who would like to correct the sixth step, or who would like to make more clear the sixth step? You can just raise your hand. So till here, fifth up to fifth step, Jayant has told very nicely in very explanatory way. Her case is telling yes, her case. You can just go and make it more clear what Jayant is telling. I have unmuted you, Harkesh.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
Pankaj.
Harkesh.
First,
Yeah.
here we have to check the do the validation that the if the values
If the
as per our
header, yeah, header, that key field, let's suppose that is a key field. So header key
field
equals to
equal to
item
item
key.
key
Yeah, it should be, if it is going to match, right? Then
match.
only we have to, what we have to do then?
Then we have to do the our operation. Else we have to exit.
Yes, very good. So in the sixth step, this step is going to be inside this loop. Okay. So here, first sort and this second loop, and this third step also is going to be inside this loop. Okay. And this fourth step also is going to be inside second, inside this loop. And third is going to be inside this loop. This loop is going to be inside this loop, right? So this is again a loop inside loop, but this is not a performance it will not kill your performance. This is known as parallel cursor. Okay, parallelly you are traversing through your cursor. Okay, so here this is the LV underscore index and header hyphen key. So this sixth is inside this loop. Okay, this sixth is inside the, let me make it little small. Yeah, so here, good. So till fifth, that is fine. Yeah, so here if header hyphen key equals to item hyphen key, then what you have to do, that you have to go and perform the business logic. Here just you write the business logic, what you have to do, right? Whichever the business logic you have to write, you can do, or you can manipulate your internal table, whatever. Or else, or else what you'll have to do, you have to exit, you have to exit. So if this is going to be equal, then you perform the business logic, right? Or you go to the exit. But one thing over here, uh, something we are missing over here, read item with key header hyphen field, that is the binary search. Here we are going to get, so here actually you have to write if size sub rc, if that record is found. Okay, if that record is found, so this you can write in the fourth. If after this read, if that record is found, then then you have to check if size sub rc equal to 0, then get this one lv underscore index, else you continue searching the, otherwise everything is fine. Continue means what it will do, that it will go to the next record of this header table. Okay, so you might not be able to understand over here, but this is the flow. So one who already know about this concept already, and if you are not able to remember, you will be able to connect over here. How many of you are like this over here? Just write over here, me, so that I will understand. Just you were not able to connect, but you were already knowing this concept. Right here, me. Okay. Yeah, good. Rajesh, Vishal. So you people already knowing, now you are able to remember the concept. Very good. So, but the one who does not know at all this concept, you will not be able to understand this concept, what I have explained over here. You have to put some extra effort. Okay. What extra effort? You have to, you know, go into debugging. You have to check, or I'm not sure if the parallel processing video, parallel cursor video is there on YouTube, which I have created, or many other people would have created the video on the YouTube. You please go through that and try to understand the concept. Very important concept, very, very, very important, and very frequently asked this concept from like 2 years of experience to from 2+ years of experience. Everyone has to understand, and everyone should know this concept. Very important, very frequently asked question. You should never ever ignore this concept. Okay, so you have the command over here, and here in detail I have written sort the data of header by VBELN for the sales order, right? Outer loop. Sort the item table with the same field as header table, right? Inner loop, VBELN. So here we are considering the VBELN, our key field, right? Then outer loop, this one, loop at item underscore header into work area underscore header. Then read item table with key VBLN equal to work area, this one. Okay, this one actually, this one. So here read item underscore item table with key VBLN equal to WA underscore header. So just go through this. If I just read it, you will not be able to understand. So wasting the time by simply reading over here. So you can also go and try to understand through the PPT. Now, what are the different trace tools available, right? So we have just seen that these are the tools, ST12, many tools related with performance and all we have seen in the past slides. ATC, right? Those EPC, correct? Then so from the uh, then your EPC, ATC, then what else? Extended code check. We are having the EPC stands for extended program check, right? ATC stands for ABAP test cockpit. So all those comes under the, and this ST05, AC30, SAT. So these all comes under the umbrella of performance improvement and code optimization. But if you talk about only related with trace, suppose if you have to do the trace, if you have to perform the trace in order to identify where time is taking more, right? Generally we perform the trace in order to understand the behavior of SQL query or where it's taking more time, right? So if you have to do, we have the several tools given by the SAP. Okay, the most frequently used nowadays the tool called ST12. However, ST05 is a very handy tool. So if you don't have to do very much, lot of more analysis, you can go to ST05. But this ST12 is the king. ST12 is the king. This is ST12 is the combination of all these, ST12. This ST12 is the combination of ST05, ST30, and SAT. Okay. So many options, so many things, single tool you will get over there. In detail, I have already posted the video over there related with that on the YouTube. You can go and check in more detail over there. See here in the detail, this is a SQL trace, AC30 or SAT. So SAT is the newer version of AC30. Earlier, this is known as a runtime analysis. AC30 is the ABAP runtime analysis. SAT is the newer version of AC30. SAT is the replacement of AC30, right? ST12 is the combination of ST05, AC30, and SAT. ST04 mainly used by basis people. We can also use, if you want to understand here SQL query and all, you can write on the native database. Start workload analysis, mostly used by the basis people. ST03 basis people. DBA cockpit basis people, but we should also know, sometimes we also use. Okay, fine. 135, where are the different types of file operation? Presentation server file application, application server file application. There are two types of file operation. So this can be also one important question, right? Not very important, not very frequently asked, but this can be also one good interview question. So you can note down this as a important question. So let me write it. VI. Okay. So here VI. Right. I'm getting some ping over here. Let me see. Yeah, fine, no issue. Okay. So we will stop it over here, and tomorrow we'll see to write the content of file on application server, what to do and all, right? So these are the stuffs we'll be discussing tomorrow. I hope you all have enjoyed the today session and you got the good learning over here, right? Do you agree with me? Did you get some learning over here? Just write over here in the chat box. Yes, you got some learning over here. Good. Ramesh, Rajesh, Anil, Vishal, thank you very much. So if you're learning something, I'm very much happy that I'm able to share my knowledge over here and you are also learning. So this is our very good family where we are helping to each other. We are connecting every day. We are performing rituals. Rituals, you know what's the meaning of rituals? Rituals means every day we are supposed to do in order to please the God, in order to, persuade the God. So that's why here our God is ABAP or ABAP related technology like ABAP on HANA, OOPS ABAP. And here we are doing the prayer of ABAP. We are performing the rituals to the ABAP, and ABAP is our God. ABAP related technology is our God, and they are going to bless us with the knowledge, right? Confidence, self-esteem, all these things So we must have to perform this ritual in order to have the good command over there, right? Now, yesterday I told you to fill this form, right? So here you can see that I have got this collection in order to perform this, interview related stuff. But the problem over here, what I'm facing, that you can see that I have already sorted over here, right? And let me do one thing more. I'm going to sort once again. So sort A to Z, okay? So I'm sorting this one. And here you can see that from 1 to 2 p.m. only one people is there, right? And on alternate days, who is willing to, so Venkat is there, right? So Venkat we are having from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So one people will not be able to take or give the interview. In 1 to 2 p.m., I should have minimum two people, right? And that also that that competency level, their year of experience, right? So if someone is there of 8 years of experience, and if someone is there of 2 years of experience, one way interview is possible, right? Two-way interview will not be possible over there. So this is one problem. Only one people I'm getting over here, right? And 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., you can see that here also again I'm having only one people. However, this is fine for me. Here I can do some manipulation, right? 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., 11 a.m. to 12, 11. Here I can try like how the people is. But again, here you can see that how much total experience. Let me see in which technology, UI and Fury, fine. So I will drag and drop this to the mm, here, amen. Here I will put, okay. So here, this experience is like this. Okay, so total experience at least for ABAP, if you are going to take the interview. So here 0, 0, 0. So this survey which I conducted, I'm not finding it useful. I tried to find out its usefulness, but the problem over here, the biggest problem here is how many people has filled. I'm just going to show you. So 34 people are here who is interested to give and take the interview, right? But the problem, this is a biggest problem over here. I'm not getting the proper people in the proper time zone who can, manage this one. You can see that 2 to 3, only one people, 3 to 4, we are having more people over here, right? So it looks okay, but the again number of years of experience and the scheduling the interview, no, like to whom with whom I should schedule this, such kind of problem I'm facing over here. So if most of the people is going to be there in the same time frame, for me it will be easy to schedule the interview. Or you can just give me your thought that how we can proceed over here in the different time zone, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. This looks good for me, right? Four people, but 16, 2.1, 3.9, 2 years, 2 years. So this looks okay. Here we can manage. But again, suppose if I want to get ohm, this is ohm over here. So if someone like how I will schedule for someone who is having the less experience over here to the 16 years of experience, right? So here also somewhere around 10 years of experience people or 8+ years of experience people is there, then I can schedule to take the interview of OM, right? So this is the problem I'm facing over here, here you can just unmute your mic and you can suggest me what to do. I'm not getting any proper clue what to do. I'm going to unmute everyone over here. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Yeah, so I have allowed you to, you know unmute. You can just go and give some idea over here how you would like to be here, how you
Okay.
want me to do over here.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey Pankaj.
Yeah.
Okay, from my side, I'm pretty flexible. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I can do anywhere from 7:30 to 11 a.m. No big deal.
Okay, so should I change my survey, or and I should write over here, like, instead of giving the radio button, I should write over there in the checkbox, means 9 to 10. So if suppose multiple people are there between different time slots, they can choose that, I'm available by this time, I'm available by this time. This is also fine. So here later I thought that let me mark it as checkbox. So I think this should be the good way of survey, right? So if suppose people is feeling good,
No, give the multiple option
yeah. So multiple option I'm
instead of
having
making
over
only
here.
one option.
Yeah, checkbox,
Okay.
right? Checkbox.
Yeah. Correct. Correct.
So people have to select the multiple option because one or two option is not going to work for sure, right?
Correct.
Or maybe what
Correct.
I can do over here, instead of writing the time over here, you know, I can divide into four slots, right? Morning, afternoon, evening, and night, something like that. What you say? Yeah, Ashok.
Uh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would give this option and with it as a checkbox. That's better.
So bit you were suggesting like it will be good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so people can accordingly can go and select.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. So this can be any one of you would like to give your, you know, suggestion over here. Your suggestion is appreciated. If some idea which you can share here, which is going to be helpful over here. Harkesh, Devi Prasad, any idea, or this is fine? This checkbox option is fine.
The checkbox is also fine, or and there is if we give 4 hours, 2 to 3 hours slot. That is also, I think, good, because everybody can manage their slots.
Yeah, and for me also to segregate that will become little easier because here
Yes.
a multiple checkbox for
Hey,
segregation
Pankaj.
purpose. Yeah, yes.
Hey,
Om.
man, somebody is at home, man. I gotta leave. Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
okay, okay,
I'll come
Om.
back in a second.
Okay,
Okay. Bye.
okay.
Sorry.
Thanks, Om. Bye bye.
Mhm.
Take care. Yeah. Okay, fine then. Let me do one thing. I'm thinking that 3 hours, like from 6 to 9, or 9 to 12, something like that, I'm going to do, or 4 hours of slots. So for me also, it will be easy to segregate this one and to manage this one. So I will do in that way. And again, I will share with you. You will have to once again fill up this one. Okay, because otherwise it is not possible to manage over here. So let me first do this, and then again from tomorrow onwards, or today also, suppose if I get some time, I will, because it's a time taking process, it will take, I don't know how much time to manage this one. But instead of scheduling every day, we'll be fixing over here, and in off time I will do it, and I will share at the time of, you know so at the time of taking the class. Okay, so tomorrow, maybe from tomorrow onwards, again we will start our interview process. Okay, fine then. Thank you very much everyone over here attending this ABAP rituals, and let's meet tomorrow. Okay, Kaushik, could you please add my mail ID, sending update Zoom links for joining, knowledge sharing? Are you there in the ABAP ritual group, Kaushik? Kaushik, okay, yeah, then you will be getting everything over there. You don't have to worry. Okay, if you are very much actively looking for the job, then you can join the another group, get job offer in 15 days, right? That group I have created, so that you can join, and you can get a peer over there, and together you can, you know prepare. So on Saturday and Sunday you'll have to give 5 hours for your preparation, and on weekdays you will have to give 2 hours at least Okay, you can increase your time if you have that time with your peers by discussing with them. So this is just a platform where you can together with your peer, prepare for your interview, nothing more than that. And some question or some doubts, if you are there, of course, on Saturday and Sunday we are going to connect on those time. I will be helping you to clear those doubts. Good, then you don't have to do anything. I have just fill up your email ID on that form correctly, so that whenever I send a mail for link invite, because many people there also are those who are not actively participating, but still they have joined that group unnecessarily because they thought that they didn't read the message carefully or something like that. So that's why I'm not sharing that link in the group, only to the attentive people who is very serious. For those in that group I'm sending the email. That group is only for the active member who is looking for you know job change very seriously. So fine then, Kaushik, be there. You will be getting all the information over there. Nothing to worry. Bye bye. Have a nice day.